Hey, it's Anna here. Welcome to this space. So, I thought I'd record this because I don't know about you, but sometimes it's just weird to follow somebody and have zero idea of who that person actually is. So, hopefully, this will give you a bit of a glimpse into me and see if I am a good vibe and a good match for you. So, normally, this is the part where a year ago I would have answered, "Oh, I'm a mom, I'm a this, I've done that." And I think perhaps it's still relevant. I'm still a wife, a mom. I love my two, I was going to say toddlers, but my gosh, they are school kids now, which is absolutely insane to me, still blows my mind. But yes, my kiddos are definitely part of something that is extremely important in my life. So I thought that I would try actually something different. I thought if instead of telling you a lot about me per se, that I would talk a little bit about what brings me joy. And maybe that'll be a little bit more of a fun thing to do. So I think the number one thing that brings me joy is kisses and cuddles with my two boys. My gosh, there is nothing that makes me happier. Whether it's I'm greeting them off of the school bus or waking up in the morning with back rubs, which, yes, I think I am completely spoiling them, but why not, right? In terms of mornings, they are not my favorite, but I will say what does make mornings a little bit more bearable is either a nice slow morning where I could just wake up on my terms, not be dictated to run around and do all of the things to get everybody ready and out the door. But slow mornings with a warm cup of tea, and this is the key thing, that cup of tea, it has to be drunken in peace. Like, I just want to enjoy it and hold it and not think of a single thing while I'm drinking it. I just want to be in my own mind and my own body while I drink my cup of tea. So I know if any of you have little kids, sometimes that is a little bit of a tall order, but it does bring me joy because it's those moments of glimpses of peace and quiet amongst watching my family on mornings that really I get a moment to be in true gratitude that my boys are healthy, my husband is here with me, that we are just having a nice, cozy family morning together. Okay, not too long ago, I would not have had this on my joy list, but I realized that my body, not so much my mind, my body really does enjoy how it feels after a workout. And when I was looking into Ayurveda not too long ago, actually even so years ago, I knew this from a long time ago that I had a lot of kapha in me, which really lends really well to those warm cup of teas on cold winter days, right? I'm just like a hibernating person in nature or by nature. And I love um, moving my body just has this weird feeling of energy that just enlivens me, and it sucks that to get it I have to do the workout, but I really do enjoy how I feel afterwards, the way it strengthens me, the way I feel my muscles growing, and just being able to support me is is quite fabulous. The other thing that I have grown extremely fond of is my devotional practice. And maybe I'll record something else about this, but it took me a while to realize that you can have either a little bit of a routine to get started with, whether you build a meditation practice. For me, part of my devotional practice is my workouts. And whatever that looks like is going to be a little bit different for everybody, a little bit different for everybody depending on the season, depending on what's happening in your life. Sometimes it may be a little bit more routine, and otherwise it's just a little bit more spontaneous throughout the day. But I have come to really enjoy at least this playing around with my devotional practice and the exercises that I do and whatnot. And it is quite fun. I can't say I found one that is, it's actually never been stagnant. It's never been the same quite yet. But there's just so much to intake, and I'm loving it all. The other big thing that I realize I really enjoy, and I would love to hear where your favorite place on earth is. What does that look like for you? Is it the mountains? Is it the sea? Is it busy cities that you love that bustle and hustle and just that vibrancy of it? For me, I really realize that it's at the place where water meets the earth, whether that's a beach or whether that's even being in a forest and having a river kind of run through it. It doesn't matter. It really feels very peaceful to me in those places. And this is very bizarre for me to say because I always pictured myself in my younger years as in my teens and early 20s. I always thought that, oh my gosh, I'm a city girl and da da da. And all of a sudden, I've discovered nature when we moved slightly outside the city. And it is incredibly peaceful. Still love the city, but I also gained this new appreciation for nature as well, like never before. I would be curious to know if you guys want to post it in the comments. What have you done your human design chart? And what are you? I would love for you to post it. So I'm a manifestor generator and I'm a line 1-3. And if you're familiar with what that means, is part of how I am wired to be and what livens me up is to go out there, be this like crazy knowledge collector and learn about everything and then share what I learned. So growing up, when somebody would ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I always pictured myself, oh, well, I'm just going to be in university forever. I'm going to study accounting because I want to be able to do my own taxes and know what that's all about. I want to study this because I'm going to need to do that, or it's going to be part of my life, or I want to study nutrition, which I actually did do, and because I want to learn how to eat better. I want to study all the things that would actually impact my life because I wanted to know it in a very deep level, everything about it. So I often I'm trying to play around with this, but oftentimes when I really am interested in a topic, I try my best to go to the source and find out like what the teacher's training is for that. What are they telling the people that I'm going to potentially be learning it from? So I want to be getting the information as close as possible to the source of it. So I'm trying to let go of that and just, not collect the certification, that kind of stuff, and just learn for the joy of learning as well. So you're probably going to find me talking about a lot of different things in this world because I that's just how I am. You'll probably hear me talk everything from nutrition, which I do have my degree, my diploma in natural nutrition, even picky eating. I have a crazy background. If you've read my 10-year health story, I think I have it on Instagram, or my 10-year health journey. And what that's all about, you'll know picky eating and adding new foods and working with the brain and sensory and all the things and reprogramming to enjoy foods is a big part of my life. And recently I've gotten myself fallen in love with the Akashic Records. So I'm certified in the soul realignment practice of reading the Akashic Records, which is absolutely amazing. In any case, whether it's about body, the mind, the spirit, I want to know it all. So I'll have random topics as I bring them in and share what I find or what is interesting because I figured if I want to know, maybe you would too. The other thing that I find absolutely fascinating is this idea about blending the art and science of human transformation. So anything related to change. I realized a long time ago, whether this was when I used to be in banking for like 13 years, I realized a long time ago when change happens from the outside, because in corporate structures, you're not always the one making, the organizational structures, the reorg and all that fun jazz. But I noticed that I handled it a little bit better than many others. There was never this like spark of fear. So I became obsessed with change management and transformation and learning about moving in your day and trying to change your actions for the better and to get you to this place, to this thing that you want to manifest. So anything to do with the art and science of human transformation, it's going to be absolutely fascinating to me. You're just going to have me like wide-eyed and tell me more, tell me more. Lastly, I think that this is actually the biggest one for me. What brings me the most joy is when I see somebody else living in their pure joy. Whether it's my kids when they're lighting up with something, whether it's when I talk to a friend, my family members, when I have my sessions with clients and I just see them, boom, having these like big moments of pure happiness and joy when they realize something or when they've overcome something. It just makes me incredibly happy. I cannot explain it, but just witnessing that in somebody else is it's it's just amazing. It's like watching a newborn or a puppy just in their innocence having fun in the world. Is just can't help but not smile, right? And so I think there's few of us that don't necessarily have that, but I just wanted to put it out there because I think it's so important. So, I guess if you really had to know something more about me, I I have looked at all sorts of modalities throughout, this last little while. And one of the things that came out the most is that I have a lot of polarity. I have this weird blend of spirituality coming in, but my sun is in Capricorn, so I'm also super detailed and business and logic oriented. So blending the two is going to be super fun for me. It's something that I never quite embraced before. So that's where, if you'll notice, the infinity symbol is what I have become very attracted to because that's what it symbolizes to me. It's this idea and belief that we should all really be taught how to blend, how to merge, because ultimately we live in a physical world. We still have to live here, but we have this beautiful spiritual world as well that is such a big source of guidance and inspiration and information for us. So that's where that's where I would like to live in the next little while, right? How to basically explore this idea of how to live in that true authenticity that is really us and bring that from spirit and bring that to the everyday. Because I think ultimately that's what spirituality is to me. It is this idea that you merge all of you. You look at all of you, the parts you love, the parts that you're like, ooh, I don't know that. The parts that you don't particularly want to look at, your body, your mind, your thoughts. You look at all of it as a whole because you are a whole. And how do you align all those things, all those pieces of the puzzle so that you can ultimately move through your life with joy? If you kind of dive a little bit deeper into my story, you'll probably find me saying this a couple of times, but for a long time, I lived with this undercurrent of sorrow and sadness. That was just how my default state was. And part of why I will be grateful for the pandemic, because it does have its, it does have its challenges. But when I'm trying to look at the positives, this is one that came out for me. The fact that it had me sort of rethink a couple of things and say, you know what, I am done. I'm done living in this, from this like sad place of sadness all the time. And I didn't even know why. And little by little, said, I want to change that frequency to that of joy. I want happiness. I want to be freaking happy. So that is what this whole experiment is all about to me, to move into my happiness every day. So I do believe that to do that, to have that true healing, you do need to take new actions. I need to take new actions to make those changes in my life. And I know change is often portrayed as being hard, but honestly, it really, I feel if you have that process, that framework, you can really turn the power of that dreaded change or that fear of change or the fear of what's holding you back, or the fear of constantly anticipating, oh, but what if, you can really change those like shadow patterns and like fear patterns into some positive energy. And that's what I have been experimenting with for the last little while. And that's what I really hope to share with you. So, really, the space for me and what my mission has become is to really remind you of who you are, look at the patterns of choice that are holding you back, and help you move in a way that you can express your most true and authentic self. Right? I think if we can all learn to do that and navigate through that, I think the world will definitely be a slightly happier place, and I think we can make it happen. So, welcome again to the space, and I hope you find little tidbits of inspiration. Bye for now.